Hi. I had found a copy of something we started doing in Choir yesterday, and I only did this in Noteworthy for the printout, so I did not tweak any kind of dynamics, or I didn't even check to see if this played correctly with all of the DS and the codas and the repeat bars and that. I only did this for the printout of the choir parts, so that's what this looks like. And for you, any choir members that happen to watch this, this is all it is. I visually looked at it. I sort of remember playing it through once, but that's what it looks like. If I play the thing from the beginning, it's definitely not up to tempo. Um, See, it's definitely supposed to be faster than that. So, what I want to do today is I didn't find where I had typed up a piano part printed out for Kim to play. That's what I wanted to do today. I know I had taken notes, and I have those up here. I'm going to follow through what that was, but file close. Don't save. I don't think I made any changes. But file new or Control N for new, and I usually start off with the piano template just because I'm familiar with it, and we'll call it the title of the song. It's a medley of. Try to get the keyboard right. And authors is written down somewhere. See if I can. That's it. In case I print it out, I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. Yeah, I noticed last week the mic was echoing in OBS. Looks like it's coming through desktop audio and mic um, channels. I tried to turn one of them down, the desktop audio down, so I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. I can't have the volume up too loud in here because of the echo, but it's another dilemma I have to work with Windows and OBS, not figuring it out. But anyway, at least now you can see the pull down menus. When I pull them down, you can actually see it on the screen. OBS wasn't recognizing that when I selected this as a window. Now I have to do it as a display. So it's actually capturing my whole screen. You can see taskbar down there. And if I hit the Windows key, you can see all that. So that's the only way I could get you to be able to see the menus, the pull down menus. So I get this started off right in the time signature. And this is in C. It's always a good, even though there's no sharps and no flats, it's always good to start off with that in Noteworthy and make sure Noteworthy is clear. Don't want it to ever be confused. Just like Windows, don't want it to be confused. I can hear the piano when I'm typing. It's always a plus for me, so I can hear if it's doing what I think it's doing. So I can anticipate, oops. Yes, I make oopses. And the first two notes are supposed to be barred, so automatically did that. I know it's boring, but you can see what goes on. I can dot them all. Hopefully you can watch previous videos to see some shortcuts that I'm doing. It saves me a few seconds here and there. It's going to work out well. At least for me. You too, because you can always skip around to all these things that you're not interested in. Go ahead. At least for me, I do have a cup of coffee here. All of the syncopation going on in this song, I just tried to rebar or put the flags together on some of those, and there weren't any because they didn't complete a beat, which is accurate. That's the way it's supposed to be. And here's the first repeat bar. I didn't show you I did double bar last time in several of the instances, but what we want here is a master repeat open. So that's what it looks like. And there's a master repeat close measure bar that we will be putting in later so that it knows where to go to and from. So this so far is just the intro. Forgot a measure bar. Oops. Just saw my mistake earlier. Nobody said anything. Alright, here's where we just insert B to get to the second B in the menu, and it remembers the last ones you did. So I just hit enter here. And let's see what it sounds like. Okay, and that was leading into when the choir starts coming in. I'll clean this up a little bit. Usually I'll do this at the end. No. Is I use a slur so that it makes everything more smooth as far as the attack of the notes. And then it starts, oh, the timing. Not time signature, tempo. That's what I want. Quarter note equals. And here's an optional text we can put in, usually something like that. And I go back and highlight it and use Control Shift up arrow key to position it. Something like that. So now when the vocals come in, vocals actually are supposed to come in on beats 2 and 3 of this measure. Actually, let's not count that first measure. Where is it? Begin page numbering from, not page numbering, measure start. It's at the bottom. Set it to 0, and it'll start counting here instead of just that third beat of the previous, the very first lead-in notes. So actually, that was measured through measure 8, and this is beginning from the vocal parts there. I don't have those in this. Sometimes I'll create a piano line like this, and then when I get to the vocal parts, I'll add Control A, 2 stabs down here, and copy the information like that, and page down, paste, copy, oops, copy, and page down, and just start the vocal parts there. I can also do Control Shift, page up to move them to the top. So that it's the piano part, as in standard choir music, the piano part is below the vocal parts. So that's how I would do that. I'm not going to do this because I don't want to be using this at the same time. The piano part just needs to see the piano part. If I use this, I'm still not decided whether or not I'm going to use this for printing, or if I want to create a MIDI file and have it play, have the computer play it. So that's I'm still indecisive about that. Okay, back to the piano part. Yes, I forgot a measure bar again. So you can start to hear the melody a little bit in this. It'll help it's done that way to help the choir members, give them a little bit of support in bringing out the melody. But at least you can recognize where it's at now too. So there we go. Didn't take that up far enough. So I can highlight the note and Control Shift up arrow, and it takes it up each tap of the arrow key. I love it. I like parallel thirds to less keystrokes for me. Oops. Control Z is undo. I love it. And these four, I'm going to force them to be bar because the automatic bar would only put 2 in. Like that. And since the song is in 3/4, I wanted to make them all in the same bar of the flags there. Better readability. There we go. I do that from time to time to make sure I get the beats correct. And what that does is that since it barred those 2 notes, it's easier to count the beats. 1, 2, 3. So all right, let's catch up the bass line before I run out of screen there. Since that was one note, I could have hit the dot for the timing beforehand because it turns off automatically. It's not persistent. I can turn on the persistent note feature, but I don't. Most items I don't like doing that with, so I leave it off. I know I'm familiar with the ones that are persistent, like the tie stays on. You have to toggle it off and on, or the slur stays on. I have to toggle it off. Like if I just turn on slur, which is this button there, I'd use the keyboard shortcuts, but you hover over it, it says slur, and it shows me the semicolon. So that's the key that I use. If I do that, it doesn't turn off. See, it's still indented up there. I have to turn it off manually. So I don't want to do that. It stays on. It's called persistent keys. Persistent tools. You can manage your tools there. But anyway, back to measure 15, half note dotted. And then I'll hit enter and it puts it in there. I don't have to go back and select it like I do sometimes if there's another note involved. Half note dotted, enter, and just hit the tab key for measure bar. This one is tied, so I hit the slash button, which is there on the menus, and you see tie with the slash key indicator for the keyboard shortcut. And we want this one to be, okay, still a half note, and we just want to use this for timing, for the little bit of rhythm that we're doing there. Okay, measure 21.
these are tied to coordinates. You can see how the tie indicator reconnected when I put the note in. Without the note for it to match, it goes on, it's searching for another G there. So when I put it in there, it pulls it up and it closes it off there. And got the measure? Did I miss a note? I think I did. Yeah, 8 notes. And these are up. So there's where I'm going to be. 4.
Tool, automatic beam. Yep. So measure bar, double. B. Tied to half note because of the rhythm here. Measure bar, 3, dotted. Insert measure bar, doubles last so it stays there, just hit enter to get it to stick. Home, page up, F5 to play. Which has a tendency to imitate the sustain pedal of the piano. I love it. I mean, it's still MIDI. It's still electronic sounding a little bit, but it's definitely helpful for rehearsals, things like that. Like if I chose to export this as a MIDI file, I could share it with the choir members. Export, and since I haven't saved this project, it still says song1.mid there, so that's the way I would export it to a MIDI file that can be played on Windows and Mac computers in whatever music player program you have. But once I get this all tweaked and the dynamics put down, I'll run it by Kim, my pianist, to get her take on it, to see if I need to make any other adjustments to the tempo or dynamics or anything like this. If I do use it, I have the ability here with menu options to manually change the volume, stereo pan. This is where I would make, since I've got the right hand part selected now, I would, want to increase this. 130, 126. I'm taking half of the 64 that was there and doubling it, and page down to the other one, F2, and changing this to 32. That way you get a little bit of stereo sound. The bottom staff is now going to sound more out of the left and blended in the middle. The upper or further right hand is going to sound more coming out of the right hand and a little bit coming out of the middle. That's how that's done. It fakes you out, gives you a little bit of a idea of how it's more believable as far as, ooh, that sounds like stereo. Alright, measure 25. And yes, the piano part is boring part. There's another one. I don't want to scroll down to type it again, so that's coming up again here. I'll just hit the end key to get past it quickly. Three, quarter note. You got fat fingers. So I'm supposed to do the dot. And this is tied and not slurred because these are the same notes. Yeah. I don't like it when it scrolls off the screen from where I was. So let's back up and do this.
Oops, measure bar. Tied. Oh yeah. It's almost at the end of the phrase, so I'm gonna take a break. After this phrase, we get to the Lord of all lords you will be, because that's where actually I want to get into that and show you because it's doing the first ending and second ending symbols, which goes back and does the second verse. The vocal parts have two verses in there. This will match up to that. Go back to that measure bar, the open measure bar open repeat measure bar that we had before. All right, so that's where the end of this phrase will be, and you'll be able to see that for next part 2 of We Bow Down with O Worship the King. So measure 35 coming up.
I don't know if you caught that. I don't think I mentioned it before earlier, but when I went up to the C, entered it, I did a control down arrow, takes me down an octave, and up 2. It's shorter than hitting the down arrow key 6 times. Alright, that's just a little trick I picked up using it, and it's a good time saver. Also, if you have something similar, you can copy, paste, 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 and move them up one, and then move the last one up another one. I don't know if that saves time or not, but it's something that can be done. Selecting, I don't have to change type of notes there, but you can do that. dotted, so it's a whole measure there by itself. I see this end of phrase and measure bars and special endings, first and second endings. It's cool. Insert special ending or S. I could have hit S on the keyboard and it defaults to first ending since I haven't used it yet in this type in. So there it entered it there. And then I can finish out my measure. It doesn't take up much room at all on the screen or printout. It's just there. It's like part of the, almost part of the measure bar itself. And dotted for the whole measure. And that mess is dotted. See where I'm at. It gets a little confusing because I'm going to mix a quarter note with in the same spot with a half note so that I can have this in there as well. And now comes the insert bar, and we want a closed master repeat close bar to match up with the previous master repeat open. Now that we've got that there, we can insert special ending and change the first ending to second ending. So I just on the keyboard hit 1 to turn off 1 and 2 for the second ending. There's nothing to bar, so now it looks like we're set up and ready to go for the second. What I'm going to do in part 2 of this one, this endeavor. So now we're back to the left hand or bass notes for the piano part, measure 34. Oop, measure bar. Oop. Special ending. I have to reverse it. What I did, so just a 1-2, quick 1-2 on the keyboard switches it back to the first ending. I have to make this match up, and then oh, went too far. There we go. Insert bar, decorated, master repeat close, and then insert special ending, switch that back to second ending, and there we go. Okay, let's smooth all this out. We're turning on the slur. Let's not slur the rest. That just looks weird. All right, and back up to do the top half, all these notes, and now bar all the notes, make sure they're there, and let's see what it sounds like. At this point, I must have typos. Okay, so we'll pick up next time with part two, starting in with that second ending there where it goes into a transition to the other song. This is a medley of songs. Um, oh, Worship the King. And we'll go through and maybe tweak some of the dynamics a little bit too. So